Hi, my name's mcmorris. I'm 26 years old from Edinburgh in Scotland, and I've been snowboarding for roughly 12 years. I kind of started snowboarding when I was back in Scotland, when I was a bit of a whippersnapper, and now I get to do it for a living and get to live in places like this pretty much for 7-8 months of the year. And it's it's the best job in the world, you know, getting to travel as much as I can and get to see different parts of the world that I would normally not get a chance to go and see. And for me, it's just great to be able to just to hook up with some good friends, and especially to get to ride with Tyler and stuff. It's awesome, you know, we both kind of bounce off each other and both got similar kind of personalities. And the reason why I'm into snowboarding so much and why I love it, why I'm so passionate about it, is just because of the freedom that it allows you just to sort of cruise about the mountain and do what you want, and it's a free sport, and it's you know, one of the main things for me is that, you know, when you're riding, you don't tend to think about a lot of worries you have or any problems or issues. You know, it's a good way to kind of escape normal, maybe reality of life. And when you're up in the hills, it's just that kind of the views, you know, riding with your friends, that all becomes important apart from, you know, general kind of everyday life. So that's why I love it so much. This week we got a couple of phone calls maybe like 4 or 5 months ago about this project which is coming up. It's like a documentary style project. There's a couple of producers on board that have decided to make, like I said, like a documentary of mine and Tyler's life in the mountains, the kind of ups and downs, the kind of issues we have with each other and the relationships that are going on and the builds up and the tensions of going to competitions and competing and filming. And it's just a way to get across to the public of you know, what actually a professional snowboarder gets up to off and on the hill, you know. So it's a good kind of reflection of what we do. Tyler's like, I met Tyler maybe, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe like 6 years ago, I think it was. In at a competition, actually, we were riding for the same company, and that's how we kind of became friends. And now we obviously travel a lot together, and we've become sort of best mates, as it were. So, but it's quite good with that in hand that you tend to sort of get to know someone so well because you're with them, you know, in day out for 6-7 months of the year, traveling with them. You get to know what they eat, what they like, who they don't like, what girls are into, what girls are not. And it's, I don't know, I guess you sort of take that for granted sometimes because you're a sort of friend of his. But yeah, he's a bit of a character, you know. He's like sort of born in Brighton, moved to Andorra in the Southern Alps when he was like under 5 years old. Sort of lived there for pretty much the majority of his life and learned to snowboard so young, and that's, you know, in his favour. That's why he's so good, you know, because he's basically brought up on snow. I think Tyler's definitely one of the top riders in the whole of Europe. You know, he's got such a consistent style. You know, at the moment he's been sort of complaining a little bit about aches and pains in his knees, but you know, with a bit of rest and TLC, then, you know, he's pretty much back on form. But usually, like, he's like a killer rider. He stomps everything within the first couple of goes. His repertoire of tricks is massive. You know, he can pretty much take anyone down, like on a head-to-head competition. His rail tricks are like insane. He's so technical. He's got this style which is so fluid and natural. Like, you know, a lot of people try and sort of build up a style and try and make something theirs, where he just gets on his board and off he goes, you know. No cares in the world, just loves life.